musicians know her as a dedicated musician, sometimes deeming her the Dragon Lady due to her passion and excitement that she seems to conjure within herself during rehearsals. While the members of the Baltimore Youth Orchestra, or Orchids, will tell you that she is a kind and caring person. The person that I am talking about is the music director of the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra, Maren Aslope. During her career, Maestra Aslope has broken the gender gap that many times discourages young women from entering the classical music community. For instance, Maestra Aslope has become not only the first female conductor of one of the major American symphonies, but she is also the first female maestro to conduct the BBC Last Night of Proms. Maren Aslope has become a figurehead for women musicians. Now I will share my 3 main points. First, Aslope has enjoyed a musical early life. Second, Aslope is dedicated to bettering the world. And third, Aslope is an influential musician. Growing up, Aslope was surrounded by music, being that both of her parents were musicians. Aslope enjoyed a musical early life. In an article written last year by Zachary Lewis, Maren says that she was brought into the world to play piano for her parents. Both of Maren's parents were musicians who played in the New York City Ballet Pit Orchestra. Her mother was a cellist and her father was a violinist. Aslope often thanks her parents for her early passion for music. In fact, when she was about 9 or 10, her father brought her to a young person's concert, which was being conducted by one of the greatest American conductors, Leonard Bernstein. And, according to Aslope, that's when she decided that she wanted to become a conductor. According to the same article by Zachary Lewis, from a young age, Maren wanted to be a conductor, but she was repeatedly told that girls don't do that. She attended Yale University, but she later switched to Juilliard School of Music, where she later received her master's degree in conducting. After she graduated, Aslope eventually met her childhood hero, Leonard Bernstein, who helped her gain directorships in not only Oregon, but also Colorado. But in 2005, Aslope landed one of the biggest jobs of her career. She was made maestro of the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra. So, to review my first point, thanks to her musical parents, Maren was inspired to pursue her dream of becoming a conductor of a major symphony, even though she was constantly told that she would not succeed at conducting because of her gender. After Maren met her childhood hero and eventual mentor, Leonard Bernstein, Aslope's career made a turnaround as she gained directorships in not only Oregon, but also Colorado. And, eventually, she reached her goal and also became the director of music of the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra, one of the largest symphonies in America. Aslope often thanks her education for getting her to where she is today, so she often tries to give back to the musical community. 2. Aslope is dedicated to bettering the world. On the Taki Concordia Conducting Fellowship website, Aslope describes that her position with the TCF is not her telling aspiring conductors that the road to success was rocky, thus the success for them will be rocky, but rather the road was rocky for her, but it is her goal for the road to be less rocky for female conductors. In 1984, Aslope was already a successful violinist and an upcoming conductor, but so far the road to conducting a major symphony orchestra was proving to be a rather difficult one. Wanting to improve the way that women conductors were viewed, Aslope, with a little help from Tomio Taki, set up the Taki Concordia Conducting Fellowship, which is an application-based program where female conductors send in applications, and one person is chosen to be mentored by Maren Aslope, as well as many other successful conductors for 2 years, thus giving them experience in the conducting field and working in the classical music world. Journalist Tamara Jones claims that Orchids, or Baltimore's youth orchestra, which was started by Maren Aslope, is a great thing that area community. One of ASLOP's greatest passions which is reaching out to kids with music, was put into action when ASLOP started Orchids in 2007, with Martin's inaugural year with the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra. With the program, needy school children are not only given instrument as well as lessons, but they're also given a hot meal and a safe environment to dwell in after school. Just this year, about 700 kids are said to participate in the Orchids program. Dan Trahe, the artistic director of the youth orchestra, says that ASLOP is trying to create social change through music. Not only is ASLOP interested in bettering the classical music world for young women, but she is also dedicated to bettering the next generation of musicians. Although a humble person, ASLOP is a very influential musician, being that she is not only the music director of the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra, but she is also the principal conductor of the Apollo Symphony Orchestra in Brazil. 3. ASLOP is an influential musician. Looking at the timeline on ASLOP's website, the maestro has done a lot with her career. 2 years before she took the role of music director of the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra, she received the MacArthur Foundation Award, which awards money to people or programs with creative potential. With this money, ASLOP set up the Orchids program, as well as helped to pull the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra out of debt. By doing this, ASLOP was not only bettering the classical music community, but she is also broadening her musical career. In 2013, ASLOP was elected to conduct the prestigious BBC Proms Orchestra, which has never been conducted by a woman before. ASLOP said that she was shocked that never before had a woman taken the podium of this prestigious orchestra, but she was honored nonetheless. Of course, ASLOP took an opportunity to address her thoughts on the gender gap between men and women while at the Proms concert, as well as conveying her passion about music and young people. Maren ASLOP is a very influential person who believes that she can change the world through the power of music. She has broken the gender gap. She has broken the gender gap and has become the music director of the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra, where she works diligently on bettering the community. While rebuilding the Baltimore classical music scene, she was invited to conduct the last night of proms, which has never been conducted by a woman before, making her the first woman to conduct the orchestra in its 118-year run. So, to review, from her humble beginnings as a child with a dream to the first woman to conduct the BBC Proms Orchestra, as well as the first woman to conduct one of America's top orchestras, Maren ASLOP has made a large impact on not just the classical music community, but also the next generation of musicians with her Baltimore-based Orchids, as well as the Taki Concordia Conductorship Fellowship. From her humble beginnings as a girl with a dream to the first woman to conduct a major American symphony orchestra, Maren ASLOP has made a large impact in the classical music world, as well as the next generation of musicians. My clarinet teacher, who is also the principal clarinetist of the South Dakota Symphony Youth Orchestra, has had the privilege to play with the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra many times. And from his experiences with playing under ASLOP, he believes that she is one of the greatest American conductors. Maren ASLOP is truly a figurehead for women musicians. And to review my main points, first, ASLOP enjoyed a musical early life. Second, ASLOP is dedicated to bettering the world. And thirdly, ASLOP is an influential musician. Thank you.